We're here in Pittsburgh at Mike Korsak's shop, and Mike, I want to talk about shop layout a little bit. And one thing I noticed about your shop is you've kind of got all your machines jammed over in a corner. I mean, it's a sizable shop, so.
Well, that's funny because I was going to say it's a small shop and I'm limited on space.
Well,
which, so I guess it's all in the eye of the beholder.
It's a small shop doing big work.
I like that. I like that. Well, so all right, we'll say my space is limited because I think that could be the case in any size shop. So to kind of work with the available space that I have, I wanted to sort of cluster the machines in one area, kind of create like maybe what I would refer to as like a machine center or machining center. So I've got everything in tight. That means I can bring electricity to sort of one spot and then bring cords to that one spot and not have to deal with a bunch of different circuits and outlets here and there and such. And it also makes for a somewhat more condensed dust collection. So dust collection's right here, some very short runs to machines.
Yeah, so you don't have a big machine here, but you don't necessarily need it because you're not asking as much out of it.
Right, yeah. I mean, this run is 8 feet. 8 feet, maybe less than 8 feet, and then a branch over to the joiner. So very, very little duct work. So that was a benefit of sort of combining everything together. And also I think it just sort of, as I've worked in this shop and sort of replaced machines with some of these older machines, it's just, the older machines are much larger, and so you kind of have to figure out how they're gonna fit, and maybe workflow becomes a little bit of a secondary thought just because you're trying to fit so much mass into one space. Having said that, though, my current setup works fairly well. I think ideally you have like linear workflows so that you can move from joiner to planer, and you'd probably have carts that you're moving your lumber around on and things like that. Again, I'm pretty tight.
You don't have a whole lot of room to push carts around in here.
A cart would impede movement around a lot of things.
You can move it like 6 feet, and then move it to another cart, and then move it another 6 feet. But
I have a cart, and it just wheels around right here. But so I also, as part of the machine cluster is I can share outfeeds. And so this outfeed for the table saw is also, I don't know if you'd call it an outfeed for the planer because it doesn't move with the planer bed, but it's, parts come out of the planer and they'll drop onto this. And so in that sense, it's sort of like an outfeed or a catch. But then, if I like to stage parts here when I joint them, and then as I'm running them through the planer, just sort of a little bit of back and forth to feed them into the planer, but then they come out here.
But I mean, workflow-wise, you start off here, you joint the piece, stack them up here, push them over the top of the joiner, feed them through. They wind up back here again, rip one edge,
Exactly,
so it keeps everything in one place. You're not walking all over the place trying to chase boards.
And I can also, once things come off the planer, if I then need to move over onto the bench for, whatever, marking things or figuring out cut or whatever, things are just sort of sliding around on the tables, so that I'm not having to, hump all this material around the shop. Again, not that it's a big shop, but so that was a thought, and I think it works fairly well for me. Certainly, if I had larger space, I'd probably have a different setup, but this seems to work fairly well.
Cool. Well, thanks for showing us.
My pleasure.